So it's been about a month since China has let go of their zero policy, and I figured that I could just come out and enjoy my day like we used to back a few years ago. So I'm out here by the river and taking a walk, and I'm going to go do some really fun stuff today. The change of the zero policy is actually really exciting for not just me, but also a lot of people. I think after 3 years, everyone is really looking forward to getting back to the things that they used to enjoy pre-COVID. As you can see, there's like tons of people out here, out by the river. They're buying kites, having their kids come out and play. And overall, I think the feeling is just a lot of happiness. And when they first opened about a month ago, I think everyone really was really cautious about getting sick, or a lot of people actually got sick. But now I think most people are recovered and out and ready to live their life. The first few weeks after opening, it still was quite quiet. A lot of restaurants and shops here were closed down, and I think that's because a lot of people were sick and there was not a lot of workers able to come to work. Like most people, my family also was affected by the virus. The first weeks of opening, we all got it, but after a few weeks, we've been recovered, and just yesterday, we went out as a family for the first time to the supermarket, and you can really see the difference of how people are reacting. Now, all of the shops, all the restaurants are open, bright, lively, tons of people eating in restaurants, tons of people walking around, shopping for the new year, enjoying their weekend as well. Then the subway today also, you can see a really big difference. Subway was really packed with people flowing, and also we went to the supermarket, New Year's decorations out and all that, and it's just super packed with people getting ready for the new year. And recently, I heard that there's a news that in January 8th, China is expecting to open its borders for people coming in from international travel, which I'm really looking forward to the future, and I'm hoping that this new opening in January 8th also leads to an opening for maybe my parents to be able to get a tourist visa sometime this year to come visit me. And I'm also hoping this year that we can find some time to go travel out as well. Even though there's a lot of people who are concerned about getting sick and everything, there's still a sense of happiness and peace, and looking forward to the new year, which is something that we really couldn't do the past 3 years. And it's really exciting to see all of this new change happening here in the past month or so. And I wish everybody a happy new year and health and happiness in 2023.
菲律宾总统小马可仕周二抵达中国进行访问，并接连会见栗战书李克强、习近平等人，双方一共签署了14项合作协议，并在周四发表联合声明。
We already have between our two countries 100 agreements between the Philippines and China. We are going to sign close to a dozen on this trip.
中菲这次所签订的协议包括农业、基础设施、合作发展、海上安全和旅游等各种领域。而两国争执多年的南海问题，双方宣布将建立沟通管道，避免发生误判，并同时在非争议海域重启油气开发的谈判。 小马可仕去年就任总统以后，菲律宾的外交会如何在美中之间选择，是外界持续关注的议题。金融时报分析指出，小马可仕在军事上与美国加强关系，如举办更大规模的联合演习，以及讨论建立新的联合基地等。同时，小马可仕也在关注来自中国的投资。中国仍是菲律宾最大的贸易伙伴，去年前9个月，两国的双边贸易额就达到了291亿美元。然而，南海的主权争议始终是菲律宾国民最关心的议题之一。两国在南海地区已经发生过无数次的冲突，近期就发生中共强抢火箭残骸，以及在南沙群岛填海造陆等行为。菲律宾大学学者巴同巴卡受访时就强调，这次会谈说要建立的沟通机制基本上毫无意义。他表示，双方的沟通管道从未受阻，而热线电话也从来没有阻止过事件发生。报道指出，两国的海警单位早在2017年就建立了热线机制，而中共也与其他南海相关国家之间有类似的措施。中菲之间对于南海主权的争端似乎没有产生实质的进展。新唐人亚太电视李义宏综合报道。
Your administration said your visit will set a tone for China-Philippines relations in the next 5-6 years. What kind of tone do you think has been set? What is the most important outcome of your trip?
I think gives us further opportunities to strengthen our relationship. And I think what difficulties there might be present with the territorial claims in the South China Sea. I think we are good friends, China and the Philippines. And these things happen between even good friends. But good friends stay good friends, even if we have these problems. And good friends talk about the problems and resolve them in a nice and equitable and to find a way that is mutually beneficial to both countries. And that's the way I see it is going. And the groundwork, the foundation that has been laid, that was laid since 1974 and subsequently with my father coming, the actual formalization of diplomatic relations. I think to see how that the groundwork that laid down is a very solid foundation on which we continue to build. And that's, I think, the future for the Philippines and China.
Yeah, you talk about the importance of sticking with bilateral consultations. You're not a big fan of outside intervention. And you said, and I quote, the problems are with us and China. If the Americans come in, it is bound to fail. Can you elaborate your thinkings behind the statement?
I said that at the point where we were having discussions with China, those in 2 previous administrations, and it was the Americans offered to be the third party between China and the Philippines. And I said, that's not going to succeed because you're a party in interest. It has to be between the Philippines and China. It can involve ASEAN because ASEAN, of course, is part. But it has to be someone from the region who has an interest in Asia Pacific. And I think that statement has now evolved into the thinking that the future of the Asia Pacific region must be decided by the Asia Pacific region, not anyone else.
China is awash with ghost cities where apartment blocks stand abandoned or mothballed, with some 65 million empty homes, reported The Sun on December 30th, 2022. Empty high-rises, expansive parks, and grand monuments are the products of China's breakneck economic rise over the last 30 years. No economy has ever risen from the dust and developed as quickly and massively as China. But unfortunately, one side effect is many ghost towns are dotted across the country, and the real estate market is plunging. Some are unfinished and don't have any residents, while others are bustling with all the bells and whistles. According to Insider, China had around 65 million empty homes in 2020, enough properties to house the population of France. The construction boom started in the late 1990s, when local officials snapped up vast swaths of rural farmland for redevelopment. Apartments were rapidly bought up by homeowners who had no intention of moving in, and prices rose, resulting in a massive property bubble and vast uninhabited cities. Max Woodworth, an expert in Chinese urbanization, said China's developers and buyers have tremendous faith that the value of their property will steadily creep up and prices won't crash. But China's house prices have plummeted in the last 12 months as a deepening property crisis sweeps the country. A professor at The Ohio State University said stopping the construction of ghost cities in China would require a very substantial change in the political economy. One of the most well-known ghost cities in China is Ordos, known as Kangbashi in Inner Mongolia. The city of world-class architecture and grand public plazas was built to eventually house 1 million people. But as of 2016, only 100,000 people lived in it. Nikkei reports Kangbashi eventually managed to lure more residents in after top schools moved into the city. Meanwhile, Tianducheng City is considered a failure of urbanization. Located on the outskirts of Hangzhou, developers turned agricultural plots into a Chinese version of the French capital, Paris. Construction started in 2007 with a scale replica of the Eiffel Tower and a recreation of the fountain from the Luxembourg Gardens. But only a few residents moved in, and the city is deserted. Only day trippers from neighboring cities wander about, and those who want to have a picture in front of the Chinese Eiffel Tower. In Chenggong, near Kunming, there was little sign of urban life for many years. There are many avenues here, but there are few cars, and many empty high-rise buildings. Recently, Chenggong was busier, since the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, moved universities and administrative areas there. Although some of China's ghost cities have been revived thanks to CCP policies, many places are still very lonely.